another Dokkan battle video. Finally, after a full year, we are able to rainbow the LR Shadow Dragon Army, Legion of Shadow Dragons, how they're called on Global Dokkan. So we can go ahead and give them the Rainbow Star. I got them at full level 10 links from previously. Let's go ahead and test out and see how good the Legion of Shadow Dragons are. One major issue for them, just before we begin here, they don't really have a ton of category teams. GT Bosses is dead. I do struggle to say Join Forces is dead just because it's so good, but it's dead because of its leaders and the leader skill, right? Join Forces will be really good in the future. Potentially, we could even maybe get like an LR baby and then like, you know, Trunks, Goten, Gohan possessed, like baby possessed characters, or like a baby and Bulma, like baby Bulma. Like, you know, they could do Join Forces GT boss characters that potentially could make this unit runnable on Join Forces. Shadow Dragon Saga is this unit's real team right now. Shadow Dragon Saga has a really good leader skill from EZA Physical Omega, full 170%. So we're going to go ahead and go there. Essentially, it's going to be like Shadow Dragon Saga GT bosses. We'll run full Shadow Dragons. Let's see how good the LR Shadow Dragon Army, Legion of Shadow Dragons can look. Rainbow Starred, link level 10. Alright guys, so we're here in an event. It just took me about 30 to 40 minutes to find a Omega friend. Again, the friend system is tough to navigate. It's very difficult to do showcases on a lot of these characters in-game. It is tough, man. Now, I guess, again, the good news is that we pretty much have only got this one team to show the, Legion of Shadow Dragons on. So we don't really need to do another event besides just this one. And there's no real... This unit doesn't build up or anything. There's only one particular ability, and that's their active skill. Which you could only use from the 7th turn from the start of battle, but it's a pretty terrible active skill. Because the main, like, draw of this is that it debuffs the enemy by 30% attack and defense, but you can't use it until turn 7, so it's ineffective in the areas where it could actually be used in, right? He does also give himself 7 ki, which I guess maybe could be useful, but it's not like this character gets, like, defense on 18 ki or anything like that. If I would say the only real weakness for this character that I don't like, I mean, besides the active skill, half of it being worthless, is that I think this character would have done good. Even just 30% defense on 12 and 18 key super attacks would have been nice, but I feel like they're pretty okay. Like, I feel like this unit's fine. Here's our link set, right? So the link set is Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, GT, Shadow Dragon, Big Bad Bosses, Legendary Power. Here's the thing. GT, Shadow Dragon, and Big Bad Bosses in total is 55% attack and defense. Just from those 3 links. 55%. So you add this to the fact that the Legion of Shadow Dragon, we are supporting GT Bosses 3 key 30% attack and defense. They're also getting 70% attack and defense on super attack. So it's like this unit is like 350k plus defense while supporting the rotation, right? And linking up beautifully with like Omega. I think at some point in the future, it's very likely that we'll get some sort of like, best unit in the game, or in a discussion for best unit in the game, like LR, Omega, Shenron. I think it's something that almost definitely will happen, right? 5.43. I will actually take that. I mean, this is... How hard? I guess it is pretty tough to rainbow these battlefield units. Well, when I say tough, it's more so time-consuming, right? I mean, this unit released May 3rd of 2021, and we were only just able to rainbow it like 2 weeks ago, basically, was when Battlefield reopened, and we're able to buy the last copy. So it just has taken forever, right, before we were actually able to even do anything with this unit, getting them to their sort of like max potential, full power and stuff like that. So it's like, if we account for that, but I don't know, Battlefield, it's not... I mean, the Battlefield Omega fight definitely is tough, but like, accumulating the currency, it's just doing Battlefield throughout the year, right? I would definitely say Battlefield is much more entertaining than like World Tournament or something like that, but it certainly is a very like long grind to get this character done, because Omega, like, this unit is 370,000 battlefield memories, and you have to do that 5 times, so very expensive unit. Okay, so, let's see. On their 18-key super attack effect, they lower attack, defense, and have a medium chance to stun. On that last turn, we saw all of those effects kick in. They also lower attack and defense on their 12-key as well. Here, let's go ahead and get this rotation right here. Do I want to use a key? I'm going to use a key up item just to go ahead and get us to 24 key and see what they do. So this is no support, link level 10, rainbow, just linked up to another Omega. Now, one thing that's really powerful too about this Legion of Shadow Dragons right here that's so important is I think physical Omega actually is very, very good. And I think the Tech Sin Shenron is also one of the best banner units in the game. The problem with Tech Sin Shenron is, like, him, physical Omega, the Legion of Shadow Dragons, like, they don't, like, these teams are dead. And Dokkan's horrible friend system just makes it, like, impossible to use these characters, essentially, right? Oh, I didn't even need to do that, damn it. Because the Legion of Shadow Dragon, they get 4 key when enemies and attack down or defense down. So I used that shoe item, it was pointless. We were going to get the key when attacking them anyway. The Broly, because Broly's getting constantly debuffed, right? We're lowering his defense for like every single super attack. But this friend system, it just makes it borderline impossible to use these characters, right? These Shadow Dragons and stuff like that. Like, this is the only spot where we can actually even make use out of them, is the 170% Shadow Dragon team. GT bosses very easily could be a real team, but they fumbled that in several ways. One, giving them just an absolutely abysmal leader. Super 17 is just like the worst choice. It's actually insanity that they would do that, because like he doesn't have big bad bosses, he doesn't link well with the Shadow Dragons or Baby or anything like that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why they would put Baby why they put Super 17 as the lead. It just doesn't make any sense, right? He's just not, his leader skill buff is weak, 150% is pitiful. It just doesn't work, right? GT bosses needs more help. Like, we certainly could get this to be legit in the future, but right now, not really too much. All right, so this is gonna be a good turn. We're going to have support from Tech Nova. So we're going to be able to see a higher attack stat and defensive stat in this turn. So at 232k, remember they get 70% when they super, right? So it's like we're at least, I don't know, what are we, like 350 to 370k defense, I believe. Like, that's solid. Along with because this is essentially the destiny of this Legion of Shadow Dragons is to sort of be like a floating support unit, I feel like, for the GT bosses team. If you could just pair them with another Omega and they're rocking 350k defense as a support, that's good. I think for a free-to-play unit, this LR to me does look like a character that deserves to be sort of up there, talked about with maybe like the androids, Roshi, version Z Goku. I think First Form Frieza is still very powerful in terms of free-to-play units. The LR Shadow Dragon Army, man, they're solid. I do think that they're really quite good. And the effect that they'll have on physical Omega, who is one of the better villain units in the game, right? He can look very powerful. It's not bad. This is not bad. I do like what we're seeing so far from the Legion of Shadow Dragon units here. It's just, again, like, we're so limited in how we could use them, right? Like, because Omega, like, you know, he is on Inhuman Deeds, but the other Shadow Dragons are part of the card as well, so he's not on that, right? Like, there's, I don't know. I feel like, couldn't the Shadow Dragons end up on Terrifying Conquerors? I mean, they sort of are, like, conquering, right? Like, kind of like the same thing. I feel like you probably could have made a case, for those characters to end up there. We might just do like one more turn. I think I want to get the 12 key animation in, and then the active skill animation, and we'll finish up here. I mean, we're seeing what they're able to do, right? They've got the support, you know, 350k-ish defense a lot of times, just linked up with Omega, and they're, you know, able to hit in like these like 7 million attack stat ranges and stuff like that. So I do actually like this unit quite a bit. Here, let's go ahead and play their active skill. So what this does is this gives them 7 ki, and it debuffs all enemies' attack and defense by 30%. It's a very powerful effect, but if it's something they could do turn 1 for Super Battle Road, it would be very helpful. But turn 7, that doesn't do anything for you. All their active skill is realistically going to do for you is give you 7 ki. That is it. Which certainly could be useful, but, you know, maybe more useful if, you know, this was a unit that would struggle for ki and stuff like that, which they're really not going to be. I mean, GT, Fear and Faith, and then, of course, their support ability. They should probably be okay. Here, let's go and play this. I will say this. That is one of the few JP active skills. That feels like a global active skill to me, right? You guys know exactly what I'm referencing with that, is that a lot of times the mixing on the global active skills is very poor. The sound effects and the OSC and stuff like that a lot of times drowns out the voices. I kind of get the same sort of feeling from this, you know, Legion of Shadow Dragon right there, right? And I would say Sin/Omega Shenron is one of the few voices where I really would say the dub voice for Omega is definitely superior, right? Because, like, they're using the third Hokage as the voice actor for Sin Shenron. I don't know that that's the great... he's a great voice actor, but I don't know if that's the greatest pick for Sin. I do feel like a different voice actor for Sin probably would be a good idea. I'm a notorious dub hater. And even I would say, yeah, I think the dub Omega Shenron voice probably better, right? So, all right, we're not... It's not like we're going to do more damage or something like that on this turn with the active skill up, right? Like, it makes no difference besides just giving us the 7 ki. Paragus and Broly will be a little bit weaker here, but it doesn't really matter too much. The last thing I want to do here is I do want to get the 12 ki super attack animation, I think, for this unit just in the video, and then I think we'll finish up. So you guys can let me know what you guys think of the Legion of Shadow Dragons. I think they're a good unit. I do. But it's a unit that, like, you know, Physical Omega got his EZA, which is beautiful. They dropped Tech Sin Shenron, which is awesome, right? Now we can Rainbow Legion of Shadow Dragons. We just need a little bit more, right? Shadow Dragon Saga's a really good team, but, like, we might need just, like, a more common leader than Physical Omega, who's never on the friends list. Although Physical Omega is definitely good enough to lead the team. You know, GT Bosses needs to become a real team, but, like, we've got a couple of very top tier options right now, right? I think filling out the rest of the Shadow Dragons with various abilities, kind of like they could do for the Shadow Dragons what they did for the Ginyu Force, right? Where they dropped AGL Captain Ginyu, and then the ridiculous Rakumen Goldo and Jason Berta. They could do the same shit here for the Shadow Dragons, I think, quite easily. And then that would change things up drastically, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and just get this 12 ki super attack animation, again, just to get here in the video. And then I think we will probably finish up. Not really too much else for me to talk about. Here's where Omega is looking a little bit less, like, you know, because we don't have, like, big bad bosses active and stuff like that. But it's good to get some of these other turns. Let's just see the damage he does, not linked up with another Sin Shenron or Omega Shenron as well. And the 12 ki super attack animation right here. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think of the Shadow... Oh, yeah, I've seen this repeatedly, running the GT Red Zone. That's... Because the first enemy you fight in the GT Red Zone is the Legion of Shadow Dragons enemy, right? So, alright, let's just take a look at the LR's details, and we will finish up. Alright, this is Destroyers Born of Dragon Balls, Legion of Shadow Dragons. The leader skill is GT Bosses category key, 330% of stats. Obviously just too low to be good. Their 12 key super attack is the Shadow Dragon's Assault, which does colossal damage to the enemy and lowers enemy attack and defense. Then their 18 key Shadow Dragon's Onslaught does mega colossal damage, lowers enemy attack and defense, and then has a medium chance to stun, which would be a 30% chance When it comes to like some of these LRs and stuff like that, I definitely would say, you know, the stun chance on the 12 key as well would be helpful. You know, debuffs and stuff like that, but, you know, whatever. Their passive skill, minus energy resonance, gives them 70% attack and defense at the start of turn, another 70% attack and defense on super attack. They get 4 key if the enemy is in attack down or defensive down status, and then GT bosses category allies get 3 key and 30% attack and defense. Every Shadow Dragon is on GT bosses, so that's good. Super 17, Baby, Rildo. Again, that category would be much better, far more relevant, if it was GT villains. It's a huge L by Dokkan that they did movie bosses and GT bosses, and not movie villains and GT villains, because characters like Zangia, AGL 17, the Trenchcoat 17 from GT, Hellfighter 17, right? Like, you know, all of Turles' minions, all of Lord Slug's minions, like all these characters, just, you know, they could be useful on those types of teams, but they're not on there. There is an active skill we have here. Awakening of the Shadow Dragons gives 7 key, and then all enemies get their attack and defense lowered by 30% for 1 turn. That would be a lot better if you were able to take advantage of that in Super Battle Road. The debuffs are only really useful in Super Battle Road. And you could use that starting from the 7th turn, from the start of battle. Their links are Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, GT, Shadow Dragons, Big Bad Bosses, and Legendary Powers. They have a really good link set for other Shadow Dragon characters. 12 key multiplier, 150%, 24 key multiplier, 200%. I think there is one EZA they could be good in, and that's the Physical Omega and Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta EZA. They definitely could be helpful there. And then finally, the main major weakness for this character is this. We only have 3 category teams. GT bosses, which is not a real team. Then, of course, we have the Shadow Dragon Saga. And then finally, we have Join Forces. You know, we're at the point right now where there's just not really a lot of good leader skills. So I just hope that they do better. Raditz, like, is just so close of a repeat to Ginyu's leader skill. Hopefully, they just give us better leader skills, man. For a lot of these teams. Transformation Boost, Join Forces, right? Kamehameha, Hybrid Saiyans. All, like, major teams that I would love to see get 170% or 200% at some point, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.